the arrogant spark of war. It began with laughter, not the joyous kind, but the cruel, rasping amusement of a species that believed itself untouchable. The Jareth Dominion, masters of 30 conquered worlds, had long considered Earth a curiosity, too young, too small, too fragile to matter. That illusion shattered the night their raiders descended upon Styx colony, a human outpost at the fringe of neutral space. The Jareth did not come to negotiate, they came with fire. Civilian habitats were vaporized without warning, rescue beacons were jammed, families were herded into docking bays, only for the atmosphere to be vented moments later. The Dominion's fleet commander, Admiral Croth, broadcast the massacre live across nearby sectors. His words echoed in every channel. Humans build homes in shadows they do not deserve. Tonight, we remind them what it means to trespass in a galaxy of predators. On the ground, one cadet, barely 20 years old, still wearing the academy patch on his arm, watched his squad mates butchered. He fought with nothing but a sidearm and the fury of survival. And in the chaos, he did the impossible. He hijacked a Jareth gunship and tore open a path for the last shuttle of survivors. The galaxy would not remember his name. Not yet. But the Jareth marked him, a single human cadet who had denied them complete victory. Mockery across the stars. When the smoke cleared, Styx colony was a ruin. Nearly 200,000 civilians dead. Only a handful escaped, carried in a shuttle that limped through hyperspace with the cadet at its helm. The Dominion celebrated. Admiral Croth's fleet returned to their core worlds to parades of violet banners and roaring alien throngs. He paraded human corpses in cages. He displayed the melted fragments of human ships as trophies. On galactic channels, Jareth ambassadors mocked Earth's silence. Where is your vaunted resolve now? Where are your Terran fleets? You are nothing but prey that crawled into the stars too soon. The Dominion believed their brutality had cowed humanity, that the Terrans, still new to galactic politics, would bow their heads and mourn quietly. The cadet, meanwhile, sat in a military tribunal. His testimony of Styx colony's fall spread like wildfire through Earth's networks. Politicians wept, generals raged, civilians demanded vengeance. But the boy, this cadet who had saved the last survivors, sat silent. His eyes were colder than steel. He had seen what no training simulation prepared him for, and he knew what must come next. The silence before the storm. For 2 weeks the galaxy waited for Earth's response. None came. The Dominion mocked the Terrans again. They claimed humans were too civilized, too bound by treaties, too weak to bear arms against predators. Galactic councils whispered that perhaps Earth would sue for peace. And then silence broke. First came the blackout. Dominion fleets found their long-range relays cut. Their colonies reported systems going dark one by one. Merchant convoys vanished without a trace. Then came the whispers. Terran dreadnoughts have left Sol. The Eighth Fleet has mobilized. Earth has called the Iron Accord. For centuries, humans had hidden their true strength. Their fleets were never paraded. Their weapons were never displayed at galactic summits. But now, the storm unveiled itself. On the rim of Dominion space, the first Terran dreadnought emerged, Titan, its hull blotting out a moon as it translated from hyperspace. Its calm broadcast was simple, cold, final. This is Earth. You killed our children. We are coming. The shattering of Dominion pride. The first battle was not a battle. It was an erasure. At Vorik Outpost, a Dominion stronghold defended by 12 cruisers and a planetary shield, the cadet now stood as liaison aboard the Titan. He was not a commander. He was not a general. He was simply there, watching vengeance take form. The dreadnought's guns spoke. Entire defense fleets disintegrated under beams that pierced shields as if they were parchment. Orbital cannons meant to withstand sieges for decades crumbled in minutes. On the surface, the ground shook as Earth's Marines descended in firestorms. The cadets saw the faces of Jareth officers as they realized humanity was not civilized prey. They were predators who had simply chosen patience until provoked. Within hours, Vorik Outpost was ash and silence. Not a single Dominion banner remained. The galaxy watches in horror. News spread faster than light. The Dominion's propaganda streams went dark. Their fleets, once proud, reported catastrophic losses at every front. Terran ships appeared from hyperspace with surgical precision, striking shipyards, refineries, and command hubs simultaneously, as if Earth had studied them for centuries, waiting for the moment to break their spine. Galactic bystanders, once skeptical of Terran resolve, watched with dread. They whispered in council chambers, in marketplaces, in hidden corners of the stars. We thought the Terrans too fragile, too merciful. We were wrong. The cadet became a ghostly symbol. Though he wore no rank beyond his academy insignia, he was present at every broadcast. His quiet, unflinching gaze stared through the cameras as fleets burned. Alien leaders asked, "Who is he? Why does he never speak?" No one knew the answer, not then. The final answer. It ended at Kroth's fortress world. The Dominion had gathered its remaining fleets, 1,000 warships strong, circling their capital like a wall of steel. Admiral Kroth himself, the butcher of Styx colony, broadcast his challenge. "Come then, Terrans. Prove you are more than prey. Break yourselves against us, and the galaxy will see your weakness one last time." Humanity answered. Not with words, not with diplomacy, but with fire. From the void emerged the combined armadas of Earth, dreadnoughts like floating mountains, carriers vomiting forth waves of fighters, siege cruisers that could split moons. The sky turned black with Terran steel. The cadet watched from the Titan's command bridge as the order was given. The Terran fleets did not hesitate. They struck with such ferocity that the very orbit of the Dominion's capital trembled. Entire enemy squadrons vanished in the first volley. The defense wall shattered like glass. On the surface, Kroth's fortresses crumbled under orbital firestorms. Human marines marched through the ruins, unstoppable, relentless, merciless. Admiral Kroth was dragged from his command spire, screaming defiance. His words were broadcast galaxy-wide. His execution was swift. The Dominion ceased to exist. The cadet who could never wear his medals. When it was over, the galaxy waited for Earth to celebrate. But there were no parades, no banners, no triumphant music. Humanity did not gloat. Instead, a funeral silence blanketed Earth's channels. The cadet was summoned before the Terran High Command. They offered him medals, honors for bravery, for defiance, for being the first spark of vengeance that had ignited humanity's wrath. But he refused. He stood before the council, his uniform scorched, his eyes hollow from all he had witnessed, and he said only this: "I cannot wear medals forged in the blood of 200,000 civilians. The dead of Styx colony carry them for me." The hall fell silent. The council did not argue. They knew he spoke truth. And so, in every portrait, in every record, the cadet stands unadorned. No medals on his chest, only the weight of memory. The whispered legacy. In the aftermath, the galaxy trembled. Worlds once bold enough to mock humanity now fell silent when Terrans entered their halls. Treaties were rewritten overnight. No one dared lift a hand against Earth again. But in dark corners, survivors of the Dominion whispered in terror. Never provoke Earth. They wait, they endure, and when they rise, their vengeance is infinite. The cadet disappeared from public life, his name buried in classified records. Yet his image, unadorned, medal-less, unwavering, became legend. Generals spoke of him in hushed tones. Civilians told their children of the cadet who carried no medals because he carried too much loss. And across the galaxy, one truth carved itself into history like fire across the stars. Humanity does not seek war, but when their patience shatters, when their children are slaughtered, when their colonies are burned, there is no force in the universe that can withstand their answer. Epilogue: Silence and Dread. The galaxy learned a lesson it would never forget. The Jareth Dominion was gone, their banners erased, their world scattered to dust. But the silence that followed was heavier than any victory song. In every corner of known space, leaders whispered the same warning. Do not test Earth. Do not harm their own, for their patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite. And somewhere on Earth, a young cadet walked through quiet streets, his chest bare of medals, his eyes forever shadowed by the flames of Styx colony. The greatest honor he could bear was silence, and the galaxy would never laugh at humanity again.